for tuning in and logging on. And today, no, I already said what today is.
Yeah.
And welcome to Truth It in the AM. It is your boy Truth It here to address any and all things when it's time to, and it's time to. And by my side, I got the one, the only, too real to be phony. Trooper Joe is in the building. Troop, how are you doing?
Doing great. It's a Tuesday. It's election day. It's chilly outside, and I'm getting these cheers from the people. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. It is cold out here in Worcester and stuff like that.
It was nice yesterday, though.
It was nice yesterday. It was in the 40s today.
Yeah, the cold came. The cold struck back. You know,
That's right.
we don't have the same weather for over 3 or 4 days in Worcester. You know what though? I do feel refreshed. I'm a little sad, Troop. I got grapes on the table, and I thought you were going to eat them. I was like, this is healthy. Everybody likes grapes. I said, Troop's going to eat grapes. I washed the grapes off, and I was like, ready. Troop's going to eat some grapes, and you said no.
Nah, Troop don't eat.
Troop don't eat nothing.
Troop eat French fries.
French fries and not grapes. Okay. And you are the healthiest person that I know, and you eat French fries. That's it.
I eat fruit and stuff like that, but I'm kind of a creature of habit. And stuff. I don't eat, I don't eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
No.
I eat.
Yep.
If I'm really hungry, I'll eat.
Okay.
If I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat. Even if like today I'm going to be doing Olympic lifts, so I know I need to have a whole lot of energy and stuff like that. But I got the energy, so I'm going to go into the Olympic lifts. Not by trying to get more energy so that I can better do the Olympic lift. Nah, for me it's like, well, I go in a little weak and hungry and stuff like that, so I have to focus harder and I have to really concentrate on how I'm doing this. So this is how I kind of do things. So thanks for the grapes, though. Thanks for the thought. That's a great thought of love and stuff. And everybody should be thinking about love.
That's right.
You bunch of
heathens.
I'm the heathen. Tune in the Archangel on Wednesday at 3 to 4 on Blog Talk Radio, because we're going to be talking about the opposite of love. We're going to be talking about evil, and we're going to be talking about hate, because there seems to be a need to be talking about this, because this is what archangels fight against all the time.
I need to get some. I need to get some better understanding of evil, because I think there's just evil. I don't think it was a mental health problem issue that happened in Texas. I think evil is just evil. I don't think sometimes people just become evil. The man went to the church. He frequented the church in Sunderland Springs, Texas.
Yeah.
He went to that church. He went to that church a couple times, they said. He frequented the church. His grandmother-in-law was at the church at the time.
Yeah.
He thought his mother-in-law was going to be there, but she wasn't there.
He didn't like his mother-in-law.
Nah, yeah, so she was lucky that she wasn't there that day.
Right.
But sometimes evil acts are committed because people are evil and nothing more.
I agree. I agree, and I have more to say about evil too, because I think evil comes because people have lost their selves. They don't feel as though they're part of even their own choice making things.
Mm-hmm.
They feel lost in this stuff, so they don't have any power. So they just do things that are evil.
Yep.
And this guy just did things that are evil, and that's sad. That's sad. It's sad all the way around. You cannot say anything less sad than an 18-month-old baby getting killed. That's sad. And all those people who lost their lives and stuff, that's sad. But it's also sad on his account too. This boy, it's not like he wasn't giving out clues to his behavior.
So he was allowed to buy guns because I think honestly the airport. Let me get it together. I think the Air Force should be sued. If I was a member of the family, I would sue the Air Force for not properly letting everyone know that he was discharged for assaulting his wife, which would have hurt his chances from legally obtaining these guns because he did obtain them legally.
Yeah, but see, that's the whole problem. That's the whole problem. There's so much guns out there. There's so many ways to buy guns. Nobody's checking in some of these places like that. You walk in there and throw the money down to buy a gun. They, okay, we're going to check your background and stuff like that. If you didn't put down that you were in the service, it's not going to come up.
Right.
It's not going to come up. Maybe not all those charges that are there won't come up. So it you know, 'cause they're not really looking at this. Or if you put down that you're a service, say, okay, you understand weaponry and stuff like this, so you're a good candidate for weapons because you understand how they work. They don't really, because the people who sell the gun, they're just people.
Yep.
There's nothing magic about them.
But still, when they're doing that check to see if you're eligible to get guns,
Yeah.
they check that they look at your criminal history, and then that's how they say, okay, you cannot obtain a license to carry, you cannot obtain a license to purchase guns.
Yeah.
So if the Air Force would have did their job and did their due diligence after discharging this man, these people may still have been alive.
And that's all possible. That's totally possible. But the Air Force isn't civilian organization.
Yeah.
So that's where, they need to if you're gonna play with all these things of violence and all these things, like, you gotta really put some real measures in there to be able to have something standardized that you can't get around. Somebody will figure out how to get around it, but it's gonna be hard. And even the guy shooting up the place, shooting at him and stuff, I have to take my hat off to him because he stepped up. He stepped up, but it does send a crazy message too. It's like I don't want to be the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
I don't want to be caught in that thing.
If it wasn't for the Wild Wild West out there on that day, that man might have been heading to it because he had weapons in his car. So he could have been heading to another place that he was going to shoot up. And who knows how many more people would have ended up dying.
I don't know, and I think that the situation from what I heard and stuff like that, and I'm gonna use the word punk. I know y'all don't like it. The guy was a punk.
Yeah.
As soon as the guy came out there and started busting rounds at this boy, he dropped his rifle and ran.
Yep, shot him 3 times.
It's like he could go into a church where he knows that he assumes that there's nobody in there carrying any kind of thing that's going to harm.
Are you calling the people in the church punks?
No, I'm calling the shooter a punk.
Oh, okay.
I'm calling the shooter a punk. That boy, he wasn't going to take on no lions.
Nope.
He went in there to take on them bunch of squirrels.
Yep.
I'm not calling them squirrels. But in that, as soon as somebody came out, that guy came out shooting at him, he dropped the rifle and ran away because he's a punk.
And you know what he did? After he dropped the rifle and ran, he got in the car, took off, and called his daddy. Yeah. Oh, Papa, I got shot. I'm not going to make it, Papa.
Yeah, and then kill himself.
Yeah.
Ain't no hero, ain't no bad man, ain't no tough guy in that guy. He's just a punk. A punk with guns.
Yep.
And that's scary. That's scary, folks. That's scary. Somebody who's a bad guy or something like that, they ain't gonna do stupid things.
Nope.
Their gun's a weapon to them. It's a status thing to them and stuff. This guy, he's a punk. But there's a lot of punks out there.
The man fired 450 shots inside the church, leaving so much destruction that the church may not be able to be repaired. That's how bad he shot the place up. And they said there wasn't anybody in that building who was not injured in some way.
Yeah. This is a terrible ordeal. And it's going to set a precedence for a lot of things now. The churches will probably have armed guards, the little ones like this.
Yeah.
But sometimes I ain't going over there either.
You know what though? This can't be really considered a gun issue this can't really be considered an attack on the NRA
No.
because we just had another terror attack
Yeah.
a couple days ago that was used with a truck.
Yep, with a truck.
So it's kind of lessened the blow on guns. Now, I do think that they should regulate. No man should have a gun that's able to do that.
No, for what?
Right. You don't need a gun that powerful to kill a deer
No.
or to kill a bear or
No.
kill something. You don't need something that powerful. So why is it someone's allowed to have a weapon of that magnitude is beyond me.
I don't know. And with that firepower, shoot, it's not even going to be good for killing the bear. Go right through the bear. He's going to maul you before he dies.
Yep.
It's too powerful a weapon. They don't need anything that powerful.
Right.
They got stopping power on something that's a big animal and stuff.
But this was an Air Force error.
An Air Force error.
Now, has the military ever been sued before by a civilian, a citizen?
I don't know if the military's ever been. So I can't speak to that. Whether the military's ever. I would assume it would be a huge amount of undertaking to sue the military. They have a big judicial system in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's huge, and it ain't like that. These people that are lawyers inside the military and stuff having fantastic salaries and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
They're the military.
Maybe they should
standardized pay.
Maybe the Air Force should take the initiative themselves and hold people responsible for letting the NRA or whomever know that a soldier was discharged dishonorably and should not is a threat and should not be allowed to have guns.
They should, and the government themselves, when they put regulations out there, they should make background checks much harder than what they are.
Yep.
You know, they should adhere to these background checks. They should follow up on these background checks.
Yep.
But it's already like the horse is out the barn.
Right.
There's people, the guy across the street from the church came out with his gun.
Yeah.
There's people all over the place with guns.
And that guy is now a hero.
Well, he should be considered a hero. And the truck driver, the guy who
drove him.
Get in, we'll chase him down, you know?
Can you imagine, Troop, someone with a gun in Worcester? Hey, let me get in the car so we can go chase someone down. That's a totally different world because that's not happening here.
Yeah, okay.
Different world.
No.
I'd roll my window up and take off like a bat out of hell. There's no way that
I'd be leaving too. It's like, what? I don't know you.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do this. Get
in. And you want to go towards the shooter? If anything, I'd be going away. You want to chase him? No, I don't think that's a good idea.
And I guess they do. I guess the adrenaline sometimes does take over. People that is not archangel stuff.
That's not an archangel act.
It's a little bit on the extreme.
Okay.
It's a little bit on the extreme. Putting yourself in harm's way is something that you have to do in life, but we don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's okay. But, the cowboy act of yeehawing and chasing them down and stuff
it's
like
still
that.
alive.
It's totally alive in Texas.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean,
that every time I read that story of the heroes, that song in my head, "We'll put a boot in your ass, this the American way," it always plays through my head. I bet they had that playing when they were chasing that shooter.
Probably loud too.
Yep.
Probably loud.
They were not playing.
Yeah, it's dangerous, folks, because the who knows. That guy could have turned around and busted caps all over him too.
Yep.
He probably did, but he don't shoot well.
Yep.
So.
Another thing I think that's unfair and difficult to absorb about this whole story, because, there were infants that got killed. An infant that got killed, a toddler, a 5-year-old that got killed, up to 77-year-old, I think it was.
Something like that, yeah.
One of the things that's difficult for me to take in and understand and process was that some people are now saying thoughts and prayers didn't stop that gunman.
thoughts and prayers.
Yep. There's no hedge of protection, as the Bible says.
No, thoughts and prayers don't. They're not going to stop violence and evil. What's going to stop violence and evil is love. And I know that's a church where more you're supposed to get love.
Right.
But again, some churches, they like I wrote on my little post there the other day. We use love as a noun.
Yep.
It's a thing. We don't use it actively. So I don't know what those people were like in the church. I'm assuming because it's a church and it's Sunday and it's holy, I'm assuming just like everybody else is nice. But I also know in another part of the country, some lady was shoplifting and stuff, and she had stole $30 worth of food.
Mm-hmm.
Because she didn't have any food for like 3 days for her and her adopted kids, and she had went to a church to try to get help, went to 2 or 3 churches to try to get help. Nobody gave her any help.
Wow.
And then the police who arrested her, they bought her food and stuff and left their car and said that they would help her out. But I'm not assuming just because it's a house of worship and stuff that you're using the word love as an active verb.
Right.
You're not really showing the love as best and as powerful as you can. You're using it as a noun. Love, yeah, I love everybody. That's a good thing. So but again, people dying and stuff is something that doesn't even need to happen.
Yep.
It's out of control in this country. We don't need that stuff.
Yeah. But even the shooting in Charleston, South Carolina with Dylan Roof.
It's nuts.
Yep. It's just evil.
It's evil.
There's
look
nothing
at
else
their
about
faces
it.
too. They look evil.
Yep.
They look like they got some issues and they're crying out for some help. They're trying to put on their bad boy warrior face and stuff. That's an automatic signal. What's the matter? What's on your mind? That ain't even normal what you're trying to look like,
And the one thing, I wish that the shooter was still alive so I could have 5 minutes with him. You know what should happen to that shooter if he was still alive.
Stone him.
He should be stoned. He should be stoned to death.
Stone him.
Not allowed to live. He should be...
Stone him.
They should stone him to death. That's what I would think should happen to him if he were still alive.
Oh yeah, I like playing stone him too, but if he was still alive, he'd have to pay serious consequences to death, and death might be too easy for him.
Mm.
Death might just be too easy for him because he opted out for that his own self.
Yeah, I thought about that whole theory of death being too easy for him. The way I look at it, it might be too easy for him, but at least no one here has to worry about him anymore.
Yep. Yeah, we got some prisons where they don't have to worry about people anymore. And
yep. Well.
Yeah. Gonna put Hillary in them.
You think Hillary's going to jail?
I do.
Do you hope she goes to jail, Troop? You seem to have a little bit of joy in thinking that Hillary might go to jail. First, let me ask you this question. I know we talked about it off before we started recording. Are you a fan of Donald Trump?
Am I a fan of Donald Trump? I think Donald Trump isn't a bad president. I think Donald Trump is a misunderstood president by many people in the United States because they're looking for some president that's a touchy-feely kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Donald Trump.
No.
I think that the way he talks gives this false impression of who he is, but that's the way he talks.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big old giant millionaire, real estate kind of mogul, negotiator and stuff like that.
Yep.
And he talks like he's from the rural South.
Right.
He takes like his last word. If he said, "Oh, those are good grapes. Look at the color of those grapes." Yeah, look at the color of those grapes. That's totally Southern. That's like Mark Twainish,
Yeah.
And this is how he talks. So, you get that. He sends out this image that he's not as smart as he really is, because he that boy knows what he's doing, but he's a negotiator. You know, and he deals with real estate, and he deals with high-end, powerful kind of thing. That boy, he doesn't have any idea what ordinary people look like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I could see that, and yeah, like I always said, the most surprised person on this planet when the election was over for the president was Donald Trump.
Right.
He no more thought he was going to win than anybody else did.
Okay, so why do you feel that Hillary is going to jail?
Hillary's a crook.
She's a crook.
Hillary's a crook, and Hillary ain't even that good of a crook. She doesn't even hide her the stuff that she does well.
Mm-hmm.
Not even since the Whitewater thing, you know. For some reason, they got a lot of power, the Clintons and stuff. I don't know the name of the person that disappeared and was dead and stuff like that was testifying against her way back in the day.
Yeah.
Hillary's a gangster.
Yeah, she is.
She's a gangster, but she's a powerful gangster, and Bill's a powerful gangster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they got powerful gangster friends. Not gangster as in the mafia, just and stuff. Big political power lobbyists and big overseas people with lots and lots and lots of monies and lots of power in lots and lots of places and stuff. And this has shielded them for a huge amount of time. But I think their time is pretty much almost up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that it's really going to come out that yeah, you know, you really didn't have the interest of everybody in hand that you said you did.
Mm-hmm.
You had a lot of people out there talking stuff that was touchy-feely and all this, and you were good, touchy-feely right back at them, but you didn't care nothing about them.
Nope.
You know, nothing about these people. Your Secret Service wasn't even able to talk to you. Nobody was able to talk to you.
So what laws did she break?
Murder.
Well, that's a good place to start.
Yeah. Insider trading.
Yep.
All these big things that ordinary people don't know anything about.
Nope.
This email thing is what's going to upset her, and the thing with Russia, which I still don't understand.
I don't understand it either.
I don't understand. You know how Russia is manipulating the election in America.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Well, I do know that she screwed over Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders?
Yes, she screwed him over.
I think she made Bernie Sanders have a whole lot more power than Bernie Sanders ever thought he would wield either.
She did, but the electoral votes is what caused him to lose, and she had them in her back pocket.
She was much more loved, liked, and everything than Bernie Sanders.
Yep.
Both of them were running for the same. They both trying to get the food off the same plate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but Bernie said she had the biggest spoon.
Yep, she did.
You know, and Bernie had a little baby spoon.
Right.
You know, and that's how it is. And Bernie got a lot of pull out of this thing because he's echoing what she's saying and she's echoing what he's saying and stuff. And you got this great big huge new group of social warriors that really ain't got any clue of what they're talking about.
But such influence.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We got social warriors going. That's another. Might as well talk about election for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we have to get ready to go to the election, but I found the answer in a previous question. Can a civilian sue the VA, Army, Navy, or Air Force? Yes, the VA, Army, Navy, or Air Force can be sued in certain circumstances. If you or a family member are the victim of medical negligence or suffered serious personal injuries as a result of the negligence of a federal employee. That, I think, sounds like grounds to be able to sue the Air Force. Now, of course, you know, they're such a powerful entity, good luck in winning.
Well, he was locked up, you know. He went to jail for his action in
Yep.
the military
Yep.
and stuff.
But they were supposed to let him know. They were supposed to let the civilian side know that he can't be allowed to obtain weapons.
Yeah. I suppose, I don't know.
Yep.
But they somehow fell through the crack and it didn't.
Yeah.
You know. But again, there's no one place that you can put your finger on about the way the guns are being controlled in the United States.
Right.
People are getting guns who shouldn't have guns. I know a few people like, how you got a gun? You crazy?
Yep.
Yep. I know people just like that. They ain't got no business being a gun. And I know one person who has got like 7 guns and a lathe machine. He's gonna make guns.
Mm.
You know, he's nuts. He's on a watch list, I'm sure. But because I don't know how he got a license to get guns. He had assaulted a police officer before.
Wow.
Like, really?
Yep. Well, okay. So, election day.
Folks, I don't want a gun.
Me neither. I don't.
You gotta clean them and it smells and stuff like. And then you gotta sit around and hold it while you're watching your TV.
Yep.
Because you ain't got nothing else to do with it. Doesn't do anything.
In the 90s, as a teenager, the coolest thing was to have a gun.
Yeah.
If you were a teenager and you were in the 90s, the coolest thing, in all the rap songs, I was walking with my gun, got my gun on me, who's going to shoot me, who's going to harm me. They had all these wrong rap songs, got enough weaponry to support an army. They had all these songs that made it so I went and I found a way to buy a gun illegally. It was a little 22, had a pearl handle. It was pretty, it was cute. And I bought it, and I was so excited the night before that I got it, and then when I got it, I was so elated and excited and happy and overjoyed. Then I didn't know what to do. I couldn't shoot it. I couldn't do. All I could do is just look at it. Yeah, I might as well have gotten a picture on the computer and just stared at the picture because that's exactly what I had. There was nothing you could do with it. Then that night I went to the club, and my older brother, I don't know how he found out that I had a gun or where I had it hid, but we went to the club, and as we were leaving the club, and this was on Park Ave, he started shooting the gun in the air. After we got home, I took that gun away from him, and I sold it the next day.
Yeah.
So I had a gun for a good 48 hours. And that's the only time and I never wanted one after that. It was the worst experience. I was so scared that I was going to jail because we had a gun on us.
Yeah.
And that fool was drunk and shooting it in the air like he had nothing to do with himself.
That's all they do is shoot.
Yep.
When I was a bodyguard, I carried a gun. I was a bodyguard for a pimp.
Uh-huh.
Well, I call him a pimp because he was a pimp, you know, and he had an escort service and stuff like that. And I used to bodyguard the girls. His girls were college-educated women. He had a great scheme. I had another friend. He was the escort guy. Another friend was in the city government in Boston and stuff like that. And his job was kind of like what would you call that? Kind of like not morale, but something on morale, like entertainment and stuff. So like if you were a visiting dignitary to Boston, you might come in and he'd talk to you and stuff. So, you know, you got this thing. You want an escort to go to the party and stuff?
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. So he called up Cowboy and then, you know, then you know, they hooked that stuff up. But my job was bodyguarding, you know? Yeah. To protect the girls and stuff like that. Like sometimes he'd have parties and.
You never had to use your gun or pull your gun out, did you?
No, only one time there was these college football stupid knuckleheads and stuff like that, and we was at Beacon Hill. That was the last one I was at too. Party on Beacon Hill started on Thursday. The incident happened on Saturday. We still at the party.
Wow.
They like to party a lot.
You figure they'd be too tired to cause problems by then.
But they was way too drunk and stupid.
Yep.
And you know, the people were dancing and all kinds of stuff like this. And where people couldn't come and go. And they just kept roping the girls and stuff like that. So I had to put an end to it.
Yeah.
So I just took one of the girls and I went over there to the big laughing one and doing all these ropings and stuff like that. And you know, he went to grope the girl, and then I turned real quick and put my arm up like this, and he bounced off my gun, and I just smiled at him. And I said, calm yourself down. Yeah.
Moral of the story is there's no need for guns, people.
I was like, yeah.
So there are 7 questions, according to the Telegram and Gazette. 7 things to watch for in Worcester's municipal election. It is election day. Troop, are you voting?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna vote.
Yeah.
Don't know for who.
Um,
That's so sad. I don't even know for who.
I have a couple people that I know I'm voting for. Sean Rose,
Yeah, I'm sure shy.
Christian King.
I don't know if I'll go for Chris. I like him.
Yeah.
Don't go by me, folks. Go by you. This is
Right.
my message that I'll be sending out to you anyway.
And remember, you don't have to fill out everything. You don't have to put a person in just because you have enough votes. You can continue to vote for other people. Vote for the people you know you like, and then stop. That's it. You don't have to vote on for every at-large counselor. If you don't like every at-large counselor, there might be a couple, Michael Gaffney, that you don't like, that you don't want to vote for. So who knows?
Sarai's not in my district, but every day I think Sarai's great. I think Sarai's a good city councilor too.
Yep.
There's a couple of city councilors here in Worcester that I think are good city councilors. You know, I don't even know most of their names, but I say Mo. He's a good
Mo Bergman, yep.
Yeah, and Sarai Rivera. I think they're good city councilors. I think they really have a interest in the people in the city and at the same time developing the city.
Well, there's some that I know don't have an interest for the people of the city, at least.
Not at all.
Gary Rosen, Connie Lukes, that would rather worry about things like sidewalks and things like that and developing downtown as opposed to the people who can't afford the rents that they have now. So
exactly, and this is a problem not just here but throughout the whole country and stuff. People have gotten away from making your own minds up.
Yep.
You know, we've talked about that earlier, and I think especially black guys. And this is what I think. I know you're gonna jump me after this, but that's okay. You know, I think that you've been talking so much using slavery as your catalyst to make your points and stuff like that you've actually taken and put yourself back in that mold. You know, that you're not doing anything unless some white person says it's okay.
Wow.
You know, it's like I think you accidentally, by using that framework of slavery to get your point across and to make everything sound so victimized that you literally victimized yourself to where if you got an idea, you don't validate it until somebody else, generally a white person, says that's a good idea.
Right.
And then you go ahead and do a little bit of it because you're waiting for them because they said it's a good idea to give you more instruction. And I think that's what's happening in politics. We're not voting for people on the ideas anymore. Even though we got a good idea, we know what we want. We're waiting for somebody to tell us, yeah, that's a good idea, and we should do that and stuff. But they're not saying that.
Nope, they're not at all.
They're not saying that at all. So what we're ending up with 10% turnouts and voting on voting day, and people that are coming out voting for somebody that they know, or that somebody that knows them.
Or they heard of.
Nobody's voting on the issues.
Yep.
You know, and this is what I think is terrible about the voting. And I think a lot of people, I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't have a crystal ball.
Well, was a lot less hype this year than it was 2 years ago.
We didn't have anybody on Voice of the Voiceless.
Nope. When Gaffney was going against Joe Petty, it was the height, I think, of voting the last two years ago. Now you have Connie Lukes going against Joe Petty, and I doubt that 50% of the people who are voting today know that Connie Lukes was actually running against Joe Petty. I think they had one debate, only one.
Yeah,
they didn't have a forum. I don't recall. I know they had something at some place at one time, and I think that was it.
Yeah.
I think all the city councilors and the potential city councilors got together twice, and that was it.
Yeah, I think that the Connie Lukes entrance into the mayor's thing was something just to give the mayor position a little bit bigger look than the nothing look that it actually does.
Well, you want to know one fact about Connie Lukes? Will this be the time that Connie Lukes finally receives more than 40% of the vote in a mayoral race? Do you know that even when she won and became mayor, she's never ever once gotten more than 40% of the votes? Never got 41%, 42%, 50%. She's never got more than 40% of the vote. So she's running against one person. Yeah. When she became mayor, she was running against 4 people. So that's how she was able to win without getting 50% or over 50% of the vote. Today, she needs 50% of the vote to win. And I don't think she's going to get it.
Like I said, I don't even think that she's even running for mayor in a race.
Yep.
I think they just said we have to keep an image that the position of mayor in Worcester is a solid, powerful position. Connie, hey, Michael Gaffney not running.
Right.
Could you do us a favor and just say that you're running for mayor and city councilor? Because you're gonna get your election on city councilor, so this will help make it look as though the position of mayor is really a sound, solid position and stuff. Because we're already going to put Joe Petty back in, you know.
Yep.
But we already decided on that. Well, what about the people? There's people involved in this? I thought it was just us.
Well, she's ran against Joe Petty 2 previous times, and the first time she ran against Joe Petty in 2011, she received 36.101% of the vote in 2011 and 27.2% in 2013. I predict she will receive less than 27.2% of the votes today.
I think so too. But I think she'll get the city council votes.
Oh yeah, she'll become at large still, yeah.
Yeah. We need Meffin. Meffin ran for mayor.
He's probably still mourning Michael Gaffney. But Michael Gaffney, he lied to the people. He just outright. He outright lied.
Michael Gaffney just do. They spin a good story, but they don't do anything. There's several people in that political arena. Not just in the city council, but in the little state positions and the little representative positions and stuff like that. They spin good stories, but they don't do anything. We've got a representative over there who sits on the Ways and Means City Council and stuff. Yeah, is it helping the people? No. Is it bringing a lot of money in to redo the infrastructure? Yeah.
Yep.
That's what the Ways and Means Committee's supposed to do, but it's supposed to also help the people too. She don't care nothing about the people.
All right. So
I went over there. She ain't running right at the time.
Right.
But that's what's happening, folks.
Do you think Mr. Petty could break the 60% threshold today?
No.
So you think Connie's going to get more than 40%?
I think a lot. Well, if you just add up the people who voted and stuff like that, he might. He just might.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think, like you said earlier, many people even know Connie Lukes is running for it.
Yep.
They don't even know. You know, never mind. She got a big Armenian population that she draws from, and that's what keeps her in power.
Yep.
You know, this is on a who you know, who you can identify with type of race. Joe Petty got an Irish population and stuff like that, and what keeps him in power is that he's in the power now, so he's the incumbent seat. And because of that, he can get a few people that can give endorsements to him and stuff, and he can draw that extra 2,000 votes that he needs from those people out there that are in different ethnic groups, you know, and different walks of life and stuff. So he can do that.
Yep.
You know, see, Gaffney didn't really have that.
Nope.
He didn't have that connection like that.
He didn't have a machine behind him either. It was just him.
Yeah, and he didn't go about building a machine.
Nope.
No.
I think Gaffney, if he would have ran this year though, and really campaigned to run for mayor, I think he would have made another tight race with Joe Petty.
I think Gaffney could have even, but he showed his to me, and it was just me, folks. To me, he showed just how dumb he was. It was very nice to put on your little farmer jeans and your gloves and go out there and weed them pots and stuff. But as a city councilor, you should have got some jobs for the kids to put on their little farmer jeans and weeds and go out and weed them pots. It didn't show leadership.
Yep.
You know, so when you don't show leadership and you're going for a position that's nothing but leadership, then you don't need to be there.
Yep.
You know? And I think that, to me anyway, that showed that you just make believe. It's all about you padding your resume on different things like this, because there's some actual solid things that could have been done. Very easy, not a big thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have on Voice of the Voiceless today at 12 o'clock on 91.3 FM WCUW. We're going to be naming the other 6 things to watch for in Worcester's municipal election today. That's what we're going to be talking about on the show today. Everything elections.
Everything election.
Yep.
Election.
So if you want to know some strange facts or some other things about today, and such as the voter turnout, Kate Toomey, Gary Rosen, and some of the other potential candidates, make sure you tune in to Voice of the Voiceless from 12 to 1 p.m. on 91.3 WCUW.
Yeah.
Right now we are going to take a break. When we come back, Worcester finds missing Shrewsbury man that was going on a walk, and also a Tough Love program aims to support youths accused of family violence while protecting victims in Worcester. We'll be back on Truth It in the AM.
Yeah.